Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Preston here. And I'm pretty sure you guys were probably waiting for this video, and stuff like that, you know what I mean? And yeah, and stuff like that. But here it is, and stuff like that, The Mariners lost. Congratulations to the Blue Jays. They won. They're going to the World Series. I'm not watching it, to be honest with you. I'm a little too bummed out to really watching it, and shit like that realistically. I mean, the Blue Jays were the better team. Yeah, I mean, they were the better team. I mean, like, we didn't get our hitting right, but, at the same time, we still got this far. You know what I mean? Like, literally, bro. Like, I'm just saying, dude. Like, y'all barely got through the Mariners, dude. Y'all barely fucking got through the Mariners, dude. And I am just saying, dude. And it just, y'all wanted to play that fucking hard to like, come on, bro. Like, literally, the Mariners haven't even been to the fucking World Series, dude. But it is what it is, man. Good win, and shit like that. Good win for the Blue Jays, and shit like that, They hit that ball, and shit like that. Their offense, came through and stuff like that, and their defense, executed and won them the game and shit like that, you know what I mean? Congrats, man. We had that game in the bag, bro. We were up 3-1, the Seattle Mariners, bro. 3-1, bro. 3-1, dude. But it's just, man, bro. In baseball, it's never fucking, like, literally, unless if you score a bunch of points, it's never over, dude. Like, literally, bro. Like, 3-1, bro. Like, that ain't nothing, dude. And shit like that. That ain't nothing. Cause look at them now. They had a fucking a 3-run homer on us, and then look, stuff like that. They won 4-3 against us. But hey, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. We worked hard this season. I'm proud of my Mariners, and shit like that. Every single one of our players, dude. I am extremely proud of, man. So what could I say? Shit like that. You know what I mean? What could I say? It was sad. I cried. It is what it is. Shit like that. But I guarantee you, the Blue Jays ain't gonna beat the fucking Dodgers. I guarantee you. I guarantee you, bro. They ain't gonna go and beat the Dodgers, bro. And shit like that. You know what I mean? Go and face a team that will have consistent good batting. And shit like that. Face a team that has consistent good batting, bro. Literally, bro. Y'all ain't gonna beat that, dude. Like the Mariners, we had to live off of strikeouts, and then our fucking pitching giving us chances. And shit like that. Bro. You're gonna have Shohei Ohtani fucking smacking bombs on you and shit like that, and also also striking y'all out and shit like that, So let's see how that's gonna go, and shit like that, you know what I mean? And that's the thing and shit like that, I'm just so pissed, bro. I really feel like the Blue Jays could have just gave us this game, to be honest with you. And shit like that, Nobody wanted to fucking see the Blue Jays and the Dodgers, bro. Like, genuinely. And it's like, literally, bro. Like, nobody, whatever, bro. Nobody wanted to see that shit, dude. Literally, man. Like, they haven't fucking made the championship, and shit like that since fucking 6 years, bro. Before that, in like fucking almost 30 years, they haven't made the fucking the World Series. I meant to say that before. They haven't fucking made the World Series, bro, in that long, dude. Fuck, man. Literally, dude. But, man, bro. Whatever, bro. And shit like that. It is what it is. And stuff like that. We did what we could have done. Our pitching came through, and shit like that. We did what we could have done with our pitching, and stuff like that, you know what I mean? But it just, hey, man, and stuff like that, it just, the better team won, man, and shit like that. The better team won, dude. They also had really fucking good pitching, and shit like that. Extremely good pitching, and stuff like that, you know what I mean? So it's just more of like, but they had they had better batting than us, dude, because they have more batters that will hit that ball out that park, dude. They have more clutch batters than the Mariners had, dude. The only really clutch hitter we have is, well, I mean, I like really one person, and that's mainly Cal Riley. But if you're gonna include somebody else, Eugenio Soares, and shit like that. But the main person is Cal Riley. Fucking, the Blue Jays, they got fucking Vladimir Herrera. They got fucking, George Springer, that Jimenez dude. They got fucking that Alejandro Kirk dude, and shit like that. Every fucking single person on that fucking team, dude, knew how to hit that fucking ball. Even like the last of the last fucking person. Even that Farshow dude, even that Farshow dude and shit like that, he even knew how to fucking hit the ball, dude. Where he was like the easiest nigga to strike out, bro. The easiest nigga to strike out, bro. The easiest nigga to strike out, bro. Literally, dude. But then, all of a sudden, this guy's hitting drive balls down the fucking middle. Something that I would dream of our team to fucking do, dude. Literally, dude. I am just saying, bro. And shit like that. It's just like, that game had me all types of fucked up, bro. Like, we were up 3-1, bro. 3-1, bro. 3-1. Literally, bro. It was the fucking 8th inning. And it was 3-1. And we allowed George Springer to fucking hit that ball out that fucking park, dude. Out of everything, bro. We could have fucking walked them, for crying out loud, dude. Literally, bro. We could have, man, bro. Fuck. It is what it is, bro. Our team play hard. And shit like that, We're all very emotional in Seattle, and shit like that, Cal Riley, shit. If you guys seen that video, he's very emotional about this shit. So what can I say about it? What can I say about it? And shit like that. You know what I mean? Because literally, it's not like we did anything wrong. Like, literally, we beat the Tigers, and we literally almost fucking beat the Blue Jays, dude. We literally almost beat the Blue Jays, bro. So that's the thing. We almost beat them. So that is an accomplishment to say, bro, is that we did almost beat them. And stuff like that. You know what I mean? We still were very fucking competitive, dude. We still, they thought they fucking won a World Series, bro. Literally, they were so shocked, bro, and shit like that they seen that shit, bro. Like, they were so fucking shocked, dude. Ugh, bro. I swear, dude. Well, if the Mariners get their batting up, bro, and shit like that, and they fucking get better with their fucking batting and shit like that, where we're consistently hitting that fucking ball out the park and drives down the field and shit, bro, the Blue Jays would have been toasted, bro. They would have not stood a chance against my Mariners, bro. That shit would have been fucking 20-0 in baseball. A record-setting fucking performance, bro. I am just saying, bro. Literally. Man, bro, it just was only because we were mediocre as shit with our batting. Damn near, in a lot of moments in the game, we were ass. But then we, at the end of the day, made a good play where it would make us not too bad. But now, bro, we need to fucking, step the fuck up, bro. And shit like that, Hold up. We gotta step the fuck up. And yeah, bro, and shit like that, you know what I mean? Literally, man, we gotta consistently get them hits out the fucking, we gotta consistently get those drives, bro. Consistently get that ball out the field, man. And stuff like that, you know what I mean? Dan Wilson is a very good coach. We have good players on our team, dude. And shit like that. It was more about our mentality, dude. Our mentality wasn't all the way there with our offense, man. Our mentality was not all the way there with our offense. What up, guys? Yeah, this shit turn off? Damn. But yeah, man, and shit like that, you know what I mean? Fuck. But I got a new way out of this shit, bro. Here we go. Damn. Hold up, guys. But yeah, man, and shit like that, you know what I mean? But hey, bro, we still played our asses off, bro. And We have, like, literally, bro, we played our fucking asses off. And I can't really say anything about it, you know, and shit like that realistically. Like, we played our asses off, you know, and shit like that, you know. And it's just, they were the better team, bro, you know, and shit like that. You know, it is what it is, bro, you know, and shit like that. That was an emotional moment, you know, and shit like that, you know what I mean? But, hey, bro, and shit like that, it ain't like we're not going to double back next year, bro. We got so fucking close. We got a lot closer than last year, bro. And that's the thing, bro. We got a lot closer than last year, bro. So that's the thing, man. We gotta just be confident, man. But it's just, we gotta get our batting up and shit, you know? We gotta get our batting up. We have to get our batting up. It's stuff like that, you know what I mean? We gotta make sure we're a lot more consistent than what we were with getting that ball down the field and getting that ball out the park. The most important part, making sure that ball is driven long enough where we can be able to get points. You know, like, we gotta be able to get more points than what we can do, bro. Like, we gotta make sure that we can rack up them points under pressure, dude. You know, and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, whenever we're down, like, 6-0, we need to know what we can do and know that we can believe in our batting to bring us back, you know, and stuff like that, you know, to tie up the game, you know, and stuff like that, you know what I mean? And that's the thing and shit, you know, because it's just like, as long as we had that, you know, and shit like that, you know, as long as we had that mentality, we could have came back and beat these Toronto Blue Jays, bro. As long as we had that mentality. But hey, everything happens for a reason, bro. You know, shit like that. Everything happens for a reason. The Blue Jays were the better team. They were the more seasoned team. They knew more what they needed to do to win, you know, and stuff like that, you know what I mean? And that's the thing and shit like that, you know? And then, yeah, you know, and shit like that, you know? But then this builds us and shit like that, because at the same time and shit, this will teach us from next year what we need to do, you know, and stuff like that, you know what I mean? And that's the thing and shit like that. That will teach us what we need to do next year, you know, and stuff like that, you know? And yeah, you know, and stuff like that. Just make sure we're getting that ball down the field and scoring more points and points when we need it, you know, and stuff like that, when we need it the most, you know, and shit like that, you know what I mean? And that's the thing and shit, you know? But go Mariners. I'm proud of y'all, man. Keep it up, bro. And yeah, man, and shit like that, you know. But that's just all I gotta say for this video, because I'm not really gonna be trying to make this video that long and shit like that, you know what I mean? And that's the thing and shit, you know. But thank y'all for watching this video. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. I'm Preston. Peace out.